What's going on, good people of the internet? It is time once again for Comics Unmasked, the podcast where a bunch of folks shoot the breeze and talk about comic books and such. We are back for episode 17. If you didn't see, we dropped an extra special episode on Friday because your boy was having some sound troubles and didn't get the episode the previous 2 weeks. I had to literally purchase a whole new plugin for Audacity
Are
because
you
they have
deadass?
really because my mic audio was so low because I messed up my interface. And I had to raise it that way there wasn't a hissing sound in the background, so I had to buy a whole new filter to add more noise reduction to it. But shout out to Audacity that they're actually adding plugins. We appreciate
That
you.
sounds like such a lot of gobbledygook.
But it was fun. It was dope. I got to talk to a great creator. Like their book Black Gravity had just finished Kickstarter. It didn't get fully funded, but they have further plans to keep it going. So I love that for them. But don't forget, folks,
support that.
you can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, not SoundCloud because SoundCloud makes you pay for it and it's annoying. Where else are we at? iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Audible, all those great places. You can follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, TikTok.
Yes, sir. Follow us on the orange TikTok and let us know.
Instagram, all those great places. Make sure that you're reviewing us on Apple and Spotify because that does boost us in the algorithm. If you drop us 5 stars, make sure you help us out, folks. My name is JP. To my right, because she's the one man in the board today, she's got an awesome interview with the creator that she's recording tomorrow. I had to learn how to use this stuff. Astra, how you doing, girl?
Good. It was not that hard. I'm doing good. I'm chilling. I'm in a new recording spot because I'd like to sit in the beanbag instead.
Okay.
This is a comfier situation. Also, I have all my comics next to me because
nice.
I feel like I don't showcase anything in these episodes.
That's fair.
I'm just sitting here.
All right. Then we have the man who is chilling like a villain. He was very salty that I challenged him to do a video this week. It was very entertaining. B-Rex, how you doing?
No. But I'll jump in on the saltiness first because I'm enjoying my one day off. I'm reading comic books, and then all of a sudden I get this thing that goes, "Hey, we have a favorite cover Friday that's going on." And then I sit there and I look at my screen, and you know that SpongeBob thing to where it's like you're staring at the screen and it's blinking. It's like, that's what I did. And I was like, I don't have a favorite cover. I just collect normal comic books. I thought covers were all just normal covers. I thought everybody just loved what they
You don't appreciate the art, B-Rex. Do you not appreciate art?
That, and then this man threatening us because I will read. I can read word for word.
I hope everybody knows there was a gun through the screen. That's what was happening there.
Meanwhile, it was 10 minutes ago he posted the video, and me and B's lives were on the line. Gosh.
I'll even read it because I was being hyperbolic. I wasn't actually going to threaten these
read
people.
It actually.
Where was it? Wait, I thought I had it. Oh yeah, right. I said I'm gonna stab you both. I issue you a challenge on TikTok, and you don't respond. Criminal, both.
10 minutes. He waited 10 minutes.
It was 10 minutes ago. I was like, he really playing that. He really
added us too. That was ridiculous.
Well, I was told to challenge people, so I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna challenge people. I was like, you guys, Jen, I tagged Sam in the month. We're like,
let's go.
I mean, but y'all need to appreciate art more. We talk about we've been interviewing a lot of writers, and we talk a lot about writing, the write in the story of the book. But thankfully, Nicholas Draper Ivey was awesome to be our first ever inaugural artist on the show. We gotta have more artists on the show because the art in the comic matters so much. You can have a great written book, but if your art's trash, Liefeld. If you it definitely be like that. JR. It definitely can be like that.
Yeah. These are jabs and stabs.
But no, for real though, it definitely be like that where art just don't be that great sometimes, and it can ruin a whole book for you. Case in point, and the reason why I have a dislike for John Romita Jr. John Romita Jr. was one of my favorite artists for a long time. He his art on Planet Hulk and World War Hulk was iconic. Love that ish. Get to DC Rebirth Suicide Squad. Man comes in mid-arc and draws the most ugly Killer Croc and Harley Quinn you've ever seen in your entire life.
Oh, God.
Made Amanda Waller look like a human brick. And you're like, brother, are you good? And it made me just go, you know what?
The Waller design
I don't care if you drew.
specifically.
It's like I don't care if
me.
you drew Kick-Ass. I don't care if you drew one of my favorite comic book events of all time. You just went off the rails and you've lost me.
Well,
Like,
it's just so interesting because like it like that feeling never comes about when reading indie, and I know we've been pushing a lot for like indie stories and stuff like that. And it's just because like you don't really realize like having a same artist on like such a long running series. Like if you look at like series like Saga and stuff like that, like if you look at like all this stuff that kind of keep it like consistency in like covers, consistency in art, it's just one of those things that it keeps you in it almost because
yeah.
I recognize immediately when a volume, and like sometimes like when I'll be reading and going through long events, and it's just one of those things that like I am binging so much so I don't even realize like a turn happened, like a volume ended and something like that, and then I'm reminded that it has because the art changed, and then I'm like, oh, like I'm here in this world. Like maybe I should like get up and get a drink of water.
Yeah, definitely be like that, and it frustrates you to the highest degree because you're so immersed in the storytelling. And like there was a great artist that came on that run too, because you had what's his damn name? Hold on, I can't even think. Cedric came on. Yeah, Cedric came on the Suicide Squad for
Oh
like
my
a
gosh.
good chunk of time, and you see this magnificent artwork.
Most
He even came in for the metal tie-ins, and you're like, this is the best shit you could probably ask
gorgeous.
for a Suicide Squad book.
I love
Like,
I love his art. I love his Harley. I love all that. But B, I kind of want to know more like you're not looking at covers when you buy? Are you just
right?
like
Yeah,
story
let's talk
driven?
about that. B, what's your beef with covers?
So
Holla
As
at me.
someone that like tears apart covers with scissors, I'm just trying to like I'm trying to know.
So mainly what it is for me is like I mainly get hooked in by the story. And so like cute covers will catch my eye. And so most of the time that's what like I'll look at Marvel stuff and they have a whole bunch of cute Jeff stuff and I want to pick it up. But it's just like I don't want to just pick up a comic book because I get caught in by the cover, because then I'll
See,
have
I
something
kind of
that's
get
sitting
that.
on my shelf for months that I'm like, I'll read eventually because I want to read it because I spent money on it, but like I don't have the motivation to read it. And then that's where I end up getting stuck in the whole like hole of having like 50 comic books chilling by my desk, and then
Right.
I'm like intimidated to be like I want to read, but then I don't want to read because then I don't know what I want to read. And so like yeah, it's a back and forth and it's a love and
See,
hate.
that's why I always
That
tell people
that I understand though.
right, and like that's why I always tell people all the time that like if you're gonna hunt for like stuff you want to CGC or stuff that you want to put in a comic capsule, hey, plug, and like stuff like that they want to like actually put out there in the ether and put on your shelf or your wall, because I know B, you like putting stuff on walls and shit. Like make sure it's a variant cover that you actually want to look at. But like if it's a cover A that you're just gonna bag and board to keep in your collection, cool, no big deal. But like perfect.
But like I've recently like have been like I have, even if I see a variant I like, I'm like I have the cover A. Like I have the original. And like I'm torn into like, and that is kind of where like the method of my madness comes for like collages and stuff like that, because it's like I now just have like two of these, and sometimes I'm not displaying it. Like I don't know, guys. I just got fucking graduated college. I'm on the run. I'm going places.
See,
Like
well,
I'm
that's the
not
thing for me is like
taking
the
time to like
DC.
put stuff on my wall.
The DCKO just came about, and like or not the DCKO, the Batman and Deadpool crossover that happened, and so
Right.
that's when I picked up like more variant covers than I picked up on any comic book, just because like the art on that was so
The
cool,
art was
and I
crazy,
felt
yeah.
it. It's not that I felt guilty, but it's one of those things to where it feels weird for me because it's like I'm not gonna read one of these. It's literally like going into
Yeah.
a like box basically, and I feel almost like someone else should get this because it's like, the money was spent and somebody should enjoy this
Right.
comic book. But at the
That's
same
that's
time,
such
there's
a wholesome
collectors, there's a
viewpoint
whole bunch
on
of other
See,
it.
things
and
that come
That's so
about it
nice.
too.
and that's why, and like it's funny you
Some
say that
people like
because
it
like
before.
right, and I even kind of got to a point where what was it during like the Rebirth era, the Marvel Legacy era, where I was like reviewing books for DC and Marvel, and I was getting review copies every week. I got to a mentality where my pull list was majority variant covers. Like my favorite, like speaking of Suicide Squad, my favorite covers from Suicide Squad Rebirth were the Francesco Mattina covers. Like you want to talk about an artist that is like the dark version of like Alex Ross. Francesco Mattina is like, oh, it's like like Francesco Mattina is the equivalent of Alex Ross walked into a Hot Topic, and once you see that and you
Ooh,
understand
that's
that,
Astro
and
Speed.
and you like once you understand that and you see that the way like Francesco Mattina Spawn is some of the best shit you'll ever see. So like Francesco Matina's like Suicide Squad covers, his Batman covers he did recently like a few years ago. Like that man is gorgeous when it comes to realism, when it comes to that style, and you're just like, how? So it's like when you start to get an appreciation for art when you start actually sitting there and be like, I want this to put in my box as a piece of art, or I'm going to frame it because it matters. That's because it got to a point where I'm reading every title every week because I'm getting the review copies. So if I'm going to spend money on it and make sure I'm collecting books to support the medium, I'm going to make sure that I appreciate the artwork as well. Like, yeah, if it's a cover A, cool, I'm buying it for like the run, I'm buying it for collector purposes. But especially if it's a variant cover, like case in point, the whole issue that I had with freaking Mr. Terrific Year One, where I went everywhere for this damn cover. And I even complained about it in the interview with Al Letson and was like, I can't get this Dennis Cowan cover anywhere. And he was like,
you
I
complaining
got
to
you.
him actually gooped me.
Right. And it was so wild because it's like so many comic book stores were like, yo, we're not buying any copies of this because genuinely no one's pre-ordering this. Mr. Terrific during the New 52 didn't sell, so why would we buy this? Oh, it's in a movie, so no one's gonna buy it. Ergo, the minute the movie came out, all these black folks were loving it. It's like, oh, we got a new superhero, let's go buy it. Oh, we can't buy it, it's out of stock. And because it was a 1 in 25 variant, guess I'm out of luck. And it's just like, that's the struggle sometimes, where it's like you gain an appreciation for the artwork over the years.
Right, and like I think it's such like a niche collector view, and maybe I'm just not in the point of my collection because sometimes I'll have cover A's and then like the second issue I'll just like variant art better, and it never occurs to me
just
like
put it in chat.
have
You've seen his
consistency.
covers because of his Space Ghost run. You've seen Matina's covers because of Space Ghost.
Exactly. That was the thing. Is I was like, I recognize that name somewhere, and I was like, I was walking around the comic book shop on Wednesday when I was working, and I was like, I know that name. I know
this
that
shit's
name.
hard.
Yep, it goes hard. He goes real hard.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It was like man dropped it in chat. I had to point it out. Like it's right there.
It's I don't know. I think I just once I'm in a more stay permanent place of residence and stuff like that. Because even you talking about like the Deadpool Batman, like I'm just thinking about, especially with the whiteout covers, like having like a whole display that like connects these kind of like white space covers. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just not on my decor shit.
No, I get that. Most definitely.
Case in point.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. But like, look at that Spawn Batman cover I put it in chat. Look at that shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man is a god. Like
well,
he literally is just dark Alex Ross.
I also don't want to fall too much in love with covers because like there is such a high likelihood I'm not going to get them. There is a Starfire cover for Tales of the Titans that is it's like I don't even know how much it runs for because it is such a gorgeous cover. It is drawn by Fatima Wajid and it runs for like $50, but it is she has her big afro, like the curls. She embodies the space. She embodies all
is
that.
Is it the
but
one with all the like her history behind her?
No. I'll send it right now. But it's just one of those things
is it the? Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. It's one of those things that like I fell in love with this like while I was doing collages and stuff like that, like really intensely, and like trying to look for art that I was like, man, I'm either not gonna find this or I'm not gonna buy this. So that is also my other stipulation of like if I get too deep into variant covers and like trying to see like all the variants for a run and stuff like that, I will just absolutely probably pick the one that retails the most
Damn.
because that's how I run.
That's a
I
good
know,
cover.
but it is ethereal. It is like oh my fucking god! Shout out, Miss Swidgy. That is, look it up if you have the chance.
But
Gorgeous fucking cover.
I
Holy
will
Hey,
at
shit.
least
hey, yo,
say
B,
$50.
if you don't buy it for before Christmas, I will, because I found an eBay link.
we can go half in on it. How's
I
that?
bet.
How's that?
Woo!
I'll drop
Love
some
ya,
money
love ya,
over in
love
your
ya.
Venmo for you.
Hell yeah.
But one thing that I have started doing though is to where like as like the Gotham Academy as an example is to where like if there's just a variant B cover that's just out that's instead of just the normal A cover that there is, I will most likely lean towards that and pick that up because it's something different than what you normally look at, and plus you get the normal cover on the next page over always, so that's always the bonus to it.
Right, you
Secondly,
don't lose that art.
Comic-Con has been my like big thing to where I actually go and get variant covers. That's kind of
Mm-hmm.
where I end up like getting some of
That's
my like big
different though.
stuff
That's like
too.
an experience. You
That's why I
have
that's why I
to.
like to get the variant covers there because it's like this is the
Exactly. I got him.
experience of getting it there. And versus to where like I showed you a couple of my pulls yesterday when I was just at a random shop and I found those 4 comic books and I was like, okay, this is some random good pulls for $1. I'll take this.
I'm gonna say,
Period.
what was it, Astro? I'm surprised you didn't go crazy over the Art Germ variant for that Starfire book.
They're all fucking gorgeous. They're all gorgeous. It's one of
I,
those things that's like, that's why I can't get too invested
you
because
know,
then it's like,
Art
okay,
Germ.
well now I have to.
I remember when Fantastic Four was coming back into the main Marvel universe like a few years back,
Oh, those are
and
gorgeous too.
Art Germ dropped 4 like banger covers, and I was just like, oh. Here's my wallet. I don't care. Like I don't even read FF like that, but like damn, like Art Germ, like, and I was salty as hell. And this is how you can tell I've gained an appreciation for artists because what was it, like they just announced Superman Spider-Man, which we need to talk about that. We didn't talk about that last week, but the idea of I actually could put that in the show notes, but like so they announced the covers for it. This is a great segue. They announced the covers for it, all the stories they were going to do, but one of the covers they announced was a Silk Kara Supergirl variant
Yeah,
cover by
right.
Art Germ, and people were out here trying to accuse Stanley Art Germ of freaking using AI. I was
Wait,
livid.
that's
I
crazy.
was
Which
livid.
crazy
Do
because
you know how much
that's
this
the
man
one on my
works?
list. It's not only that, but like it's such a distinct art style, such a distinct art style that it's like
Right.
if you see one Alex Ross kind of like painting on like exquisite masterpiece, you kind of understand the vibe of his art style. So that is such an obscure, insane like.
Like, look at the cover. I just put it in the chat. And it's like the idea that people were out here trying to accuse Art Germ, the man who has paid his dues. In like, if you want to accuse someone like what was it? That was a few years ago. J. Scott Campbell was very well known for a hot bit of just retracing his old shit. Like, no, this is Art Germ. God damn it, this man breathes on a page and it's immaculate. No, sir, no, sir. I will have no smoke coming for this man. And it's like it's to the point where they even like we're getting to the point where even like genuine artists are being accused of AI usage, and I can't
Right.
fathom why. Like it's as if they want AI to take over the
I
medium
can kind of
faster.
get why. Like you get to such like a point where it's like you can't, some people just aren't looking at different art styles.
And
Some
that's
people
what I
are
was
just
gonna
not
say is
experiencing
to
art
where
like that.
I feel like people
Experiencing
who
art.
do the accusing that this isn't like, or this is AI and stuff like that, are people who don't delve themselves into the art world. Because I try to be very careful whenever I like, accuse someone of AI. Even when I pop any things into chat to you guys, I'm like, I want to make this very clear. I'm not an artist. I don't know what's going on. How do you guys feel about this? Because like there's an aspect to that. But even when I go and look at the cover that JP just sent in, immaculate, by the way, beautiful. I want that cover now. But like, I can tell that there's actual like emotion put behind this. There's actual
Soul.
soul that's actually put in there
The
versus
heart.
what I get from AI. Because like there was Oh my gosh, it was a Steven Universe little AI about like a live action one that was going around on TikTok
Oh,
earlier this
goodness
week.
me.
And it looked amazing. It looked really good. I was a little bit convinced until I started taking a second look, and you start seeing arms move a different way and fingers move a little bit differently. And it's
Our
like,
parents and uncles and grannies and grandpa, it's so fucked. We're so over.
I
Well,
know.
If we're
it's
if
so
we're
bad.
gooped, can you imagine them? If we're gooped, can you imagine them?
Right, and it's to the point where like you see these Facebook videos and like people are like saying, "Oh, look at this person! They did this thing, bro." A chicken exploded in an AI video. You thought it was
They're
real?
kind
Like,
of
calm
And that's the
down.
thing that kills me
some of
is
them
some
are
of them
so
even still
ridiculous.
say Sora in the thing. They don't even do it good
Right,
enough to
and there's
crop
just
out the
no.
Sora out of that.
It's
It is such
ridiculous.
like a ridiculous thing, and it's something I'm gonna get into with the creator tomorrow, the writer of The Dead at Night indie comics, that like the takeover of AI and the inherent like distrust in artists that's happening is so strange because there's such a weird turnaround of like villainizing artists for either not doing enough to like distinguish their art style or like what have you, or like being the accusations and stuff like that. And it's just like, guys, they're not gonna draw anymore. I wouldn't want to fucking draw anymore for you people. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Outrageous.
It just kind of got to a point where I was just like, yeah, nah, I don't really care anymore when it comes to that. But in terms of the Superman Spider-Man conversation, because that at least gives Marvel a little bit of something to talk about. They announced this week that like we are after 50 years.
Yes,
50 damn
sir.
years, we are officially seeing the return of the Big Blue Blur and the Web Slinger on the same page. After how well the Deadpool Batman and Batman Deadpool did, we are finally seeing these two back together for a series of different stories. Because not only do we get Mark Waid and Jorge
I
Jimenez, the
know.
dream
Oh my
team,
gosh.
doing those two
What an
together,
insane pairing. Ooh. Cover art
like,
looks so good.
like it's just I like there's something about Jorge Jimenez where man was just born to draw DC. Like some of his splash pages man has done for DC for like during Snyder's Justice League or like just in general, bro. Iconic. Iconic.
Right.
Like, see, I'm over here gushing about art because art is the vibe here. Like
I'm
art, like art.
gushing over here at the covers right now. Like I'm scrolling through these, and all of these look so freaking amazing.
Right, and it's just like I'm so excited for this. So, but yeah, we have the Wade and Jimenez like story that is like the main narrative. Then we have a collection of different stories that if you'd have told me this was real like a couple
Oh
days
my
ago, I might have
gosh.
looked at you like you were selling me a bag of crack
I can
because
imagine.
some of these feel not real. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. Some of
Right.
these don't feel real.
Let us know.
I'm trying to be hopeful about it because some of them sound really dope. Some of them sound really dope, but like then you like, but like let's get down the list. So Tom King,
just let us know.
Tom King, and Jim
Right?
Lee
Uh-huh.
are. Wait, some we can't access my video. What happened? There we go. Okay. Tom, that was like the glitch. But Tom King and Jim Lee are writing a Lois Lane and Mary Jane Watson story.
I don't. Okay. Okay.
So
This is an iconic pair up. This is an iconic pair up that I think has so many layers of. We talk about it all the time, and kind of the themes of Lois Lane, at least I talk and think about it all the time, the humanity that lies within her, and the entire point of her being a counterpart to Superman, and how well she embodies that. And then looking at an MJ who kind of is doing that in the same fashion, but in a younger sense, because you have a Lois Lane that is so human, but is so well established in what she needs to do and what she's always wanted to do. And then you look at an MJ that I feel like the a big point and part of her and Peter's relationship is just how young they are, and
right.
kind of how green they both are to whether it be like her career, her like modeling, all this stuff, her acting, and a Peter's greenness to the like mantle. But I just worry in the sense of I wonder how that if that will be touched on kind of thing. Why are we giving Tom King women? Actually, good night.
Like,
Thank you, because that's what I really kind of wanted to push in there, because Tom King did very great with Supergirl. I would like to put that out there. It's a very enjoyable comic book, okay? At
And
the end
like
of
we've
me
said
reading
before,
that,
narrative heavy,
yes,
yes, very
dialogue,
narrative heavy.
monologue, like internal.
very much so. One of the things that concerns me is that after reading his Wonder Woman and her being very heavy, being like militia heavy, being very war heavy and very war adjacent, it fears me that I'm going to see a lot of maybe similar writing into this, and those characters aren't that. Those characters aren't very much in this love of war and wanting to fight and all of that other things. These characters have deeper emotions that are going to be connected to their significant other, and then that's something else that scares me, because I'm afraid that he's going to tie them into being like, these are just the girlfriends of these superheroes.
The
So,
Because
okay.
these do have so much more character development to them. That scares me.
So okay. Let me be the devil's advocate in the room. Let me be the devil's advocate in the room. Which it sounds madness coming from me, because I have been very well known from being like I used to say, like, the first episode of the podcast, I said Tom King was my biggest op in comics. But I have since then, the past like month and a half, 2 months, have been privy to some information that Heroes in Crisis wasn't Tom King's fault. The Batman wedding debacle was not Tom King's fault. So, I have since recanted that Tom King is no longer my biggest op in comics. That now has returned to Rob Liefeld. That's fine.
You're letting Wonder Woman get away with. You're letting.
Because here's the thing. Wonder Woman is not my territory. I have not read it. I cannot speak on that. How do I phrase this? I have read his Black Canary. That shit was weird. I didn't understand. You couldn't tell me that made sense. Fine.
So what we're saying is
Supergirl was a banger, and we're gonna get into my thoughts on the trailer here shortly. However, the last time, let me rephrase. Other than the Walmart exclusive stories, the last time Tom King touched Lois Lane, it was Heroes in Crisis, where he had Clay Mann basically draw her in the most scandalous way possible and had her torpedo the entire like sanctuary process, which makes no sense. I am willing to give him the shot, but if this is bad, this may be the last.
Where's your devil's advocacy? I'm hearing a lot of devil and not a lot of advocacy.
Like, if this crossover is bad, a 50-year anniversary crossover, if this is bad, it might be time to tell Tom King to move away from writing women. Like, it might be time. If this is the nail in the coffin, this is the biggest nail you could possibly pull out the Home Depot. Like, that might be the one.
I feel like it's also the case too with like when it comes to like conversations that Tom King kind of gets into. And I've said this before, that Tom King, in terms of his writing, in terms of what I have enjoyed of his writing, he does very well with internal monologue. He does very well with kind of identity struggle. He does very well with this kind of, should I or shouldn't I? What will happen to me if I do? What will I think of myself if I do? Kind of mentality. And that's why when you read a Supergirl, that kind of really is not only reliant on it, but it helps it so much because that entirely is a personal perspective that Kara is going through. Of course, we're going to get so much of her internal monologue, as we should, because she is a survivor. And how else do we deal with this survivor's guilt? And my fear for this kind of crossover is that I just keep thinking of the dialogue. I just keep thinking of the conversation that could be had, and when it I just agree with B that it's kind of I'm scared we'll get kind of into let's talk about our man's kind of situation, and not really acknowledging, like I said before, what it means that these women are kind of so similar in a way, but like in terms of their age, like that is such a big factor for how they
Right.
think of these situations and how they think of their relationship. Because if you want to talk about like the maturity of a Lois Lane versus an MJ, like she's just an older woman. She understands not only what Clark has to do, but she has her own fucking shit to do. And
Mm.
MJ, that kind of was thinking childhood, high school sweetheart kind of mentality. It's a different playing field, but I think it is the same coin almost. So if I don't know, if I don't get that theming and stuff like that, I don't know. I
Here's
don't
the
This
know.
is
one that really
also
confuses
I don't
me.
know.
Before, here's the one that really confuses me. You have a very easy bucket. Like this could have been the easiest layup on the face of the earth because somebody is currently writing Superman for DC who literally has had one of the longest running Spider-Man books of all time under his belt.
Exactly.
Dan Slott. Granted,
Yeah.
he wasn't really the biggest fan of writing MJ because editorial told him not to and whatnot, but he wrote her occasionally. But it's also like if anybody would have more territory and more experience with writing both of these characters, it would be the guy who has the longest running like time with one of them and
Yeah.
has some experience with the other. I can't think of anything Tom King has ever written that has Spider-Man touching it. So
No,
it's just
that
like,
MJ is gonna be very experimental. Let's see. Let's see.
yeah.
Let us
Like
know.
I can see him having like played the Spider-Man video game where we're gonna find out, oh, they're both reporters, and it's like,
Shut the
no,
fuck
no,
up.
yep.
no.
So where's your devil advocacy? You
I'm trying to say, I'm willing to give it a read, but this will be the
I'll
nail in
read
the
it.
coffin, if that makes
I'll
sense.
read it. I
Here's the
just
thing is,
like no.
I'm gonna go in reading it, and I feel like I do a pretty good job at giving myself the like blank slate whenever I pick up a comic book, because I will try to be like, I'm here for the story. If this is a good story, I can accept it. If it's a bad story, then I'm gonna make it known that I really didn't like it. I have my issues with these current runs of Absolute Batman and the DCKO stuff that's going on. But it doesn't mean that those are bad stories. It just means I disagree with how that story was told. There's a difference between how
Yeah.
those end up coming out, And the premise for this one too is my idea about this: if we get an older MJ, if we can finally get maybe like some forward moving
Yeah.
progression in which we constantly talk about, I can see MJ and Lois being like up there in the status of being like equal partners of what they do, seeing their significant other go out and save the world, but then they're at home having to keep things going for what they need to do. They're out doing reporting things. MJ's out doing her theater career or whatever they decide to have her doing when it's in the future. She decides to be a producer or something. That would be something super cool to see. These are ideas that could be implemented in these crossover things.
Just don't talk about her being Venom.
I know. Let's just not. But let's move away
Ooh,
from that.
Anyway, like down the list of like the rest of the kind of pairings that's gonna happen.
The
A
very
Matt
weird
Fraction
one.
and a Matt Fraction and a Steve Leber drawing. Jimmy Olsen and Carnage. And now I'm so delighted. I'm so excited. I think these crossovers are fun. I think
Can
like
can
I
I
think
just
they're
ask a
fun.
question?
Why?
I don't
Why
understand the
can't we
Jimmy
have fun
Olsen
here?
thing. I don't
Like,
understand the Jimmy Olsen thing. That's just
no,
what it is for
I
Like
me.
in
understand
terms of
Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen is a pillar of the history, but like, is there anybody else that you could have put with him besides
I just
Carnage?
think with a Spider-Man kind of like leading the front, it's weird. Like if this was like a Superman Venom, I would understand. But I also let's get crazy, let's get ridiculous. Like
No,
with
like
50th anniversary, let's go.
no, like I'm willing to read it because it sounds freaking hilarious. But like it's the one person that doesn't get a story in this entire collab that I'm kind of interested. That would have been hilarious to have like antics with Jimmy Olsen. Where's Aunt May? Where's the
Right.
Aunt
Would have
May
been a
Jimmy
good one.
Olsen go to
Because
the
the rest of this
grocery
No.
store catastrophe?
the rest of this list reads Sean Murphy with a Superboy and a Spider-Man 2099, which I am so excited for. A Gail Simone teaming up with Belen Ortega doing Power Girl and Punisher,
Which
which
I'm
what?
interested
no,
in that one. That one blew my mind
that's
when I
sick
was
as
reading
fuck.
that one.
That's not only sick as fuck, but that is such like an interesting going into not like what they both do and what they kind of both represent in their respective spaces of like So what do you do here? And
Like,
what
like
do
it's so
you
funny.
do here?
It's so funny because like I
I
love
think
Gail
it'd be
Simone so
fun.
much, and I'm excited for more Gail Simone shit like this. But like the idea that there's gonna be a situation where you have the biggest thing that Power Girl is sadly known for, the boob window, and then you have the thing that Frank is most well known for, which is his phallic symbol. I mean his gun, and it's like if
It's so
Gail doesn't
good.
take the bait and make that reference of like phallic
She has to.
symbol
There's no
versus boob
way.
window, I'm gonna be sad because it like I even made a joke about it when I did my announcement video where I purposely had the keyframe zoom in on Karen and then zoom in on Frank at the crotch and at the chest,
Please.
and I'm like, please, like reference it, please, Gail. I need you to talk about the stupidity of both of them being like totally just gooner bait because like
Oh
everyone
yeah.
knows that
It's
dudes
gonna be
love big
so cool
guns,
though.
so it's gonna be the same freaking thing.
Like, and it's one of those things that you just saying Gooner bait is so funny because they're both male Gooner bait.
I now
Yes.
need to see each comic page as I'm flipping through. His guns are getting bigger, and her chest just gets bigger as
Yes!
I'm
Gail
flipping
Simone,
through
come
the
on.
pages.
Gail
Like,
Simone, come on.
please.
Because
You
like
have the
that's
opportunity to do the funniest thing in the fucking world.
because we know about the tragedy that men kept making Karen's boobs bigger, and it's a messed up tragedy in its own right. But if you reference it and talk about it from a woman lens and make Frank's guns keep getting bigger
No,
on
and
some
like
like
how like
Rob
yes.
Liefeld level shit,
Holy
it will
shit.
be worth it. It will be
Yes.
worth it for that reason.
Right. No, and then the rest of the list goes Christopher Priest and then Daniel St. Pierre with Superboy Prime, who, you know, we all know it's okay, he's here to fucking stay and James can't do anything about it. And
I
he
hate
is
it.
teaming up with a Spider-Man right after he got the black suit, so that is going to be a very angsty emo kind of story. And
I
then
hate prime time.
Greg Rucka and a Nicholas Scott on an exciting race between the Daily Planet and the Daily Bugle, which I think genuinely
That's
that
gonna
is
be
what
iconic.
I'm the most excited for that one out of this
Yes.
entire list. I am just so ready for like, let's talk about the fucking journalism you both do. Let's talk about the outrageous stories that happen in your respective universes and how we go about them.
Can we talk
Period,
about
period.
the excitement of Perry White v. J. Jonah Jameson and how funny that's
Yes.
gonna be?
I would love for them to be going at each other and being like, well, headline for this of just
No,
like crazy
this-
Superman Batman thing, and then crazy Spider-Man Iron Man thing, and then
I need a
crazy like
screaming
apocalyptic
match.
thing. Like, just amazing. I need to
I
see
need a
all of
screaming
that.
match. And then we
No.
end off with well, we have a
Depression.
podcast versus Uncle Ben.
Depression.
Depression.
With
Podcast
depression.
versus Uncle or Uncle Ben. Excuse me, it doesn't say versus. That would be crazy. I'm so DCKO
It's
pilled.
just gonna be
And
them
it's
on a
Jeff
bench
Lemire
talking about
and the
depression.
Roughness Sawmill.
Because here's the thing: if you've read Black Hammer by Jeff Lemire, if you've read Old Man Logan by Jeff Lemire, if you read anything Jeff Lemire, you will know that man is the king of writing sad stories. So it is going to be
He gets it.
these
He
two,
gets it
these two,
there.
yes, it's going to be these two old men on like a park bench or like at the truck stop or something like that, and it's going to
And
be
they're
them
both
telling
ghosts.
this.
And they're both
No, it'll be ghosts.
They-
It won't be ghosts. It'll just be they happen to meet up on the same day at the
Awful.
gas station or something
Awful.
like that, and they're gonna talk about how much they love their boys, and it's gonna be like, oh, why?
See, but that's what I want. Like, that's the thing that I've like miss from my DC stuff is the like tear jerking, the true like stuff that hits you in
The
the feels.
emotionality.
I have not had emotionality in comic books in what feels like forever because like I went back and read Spider-Man Blue and that thing had me tearing up again. And I know what happens
please.
to all those
Oh,
characters.
please.
But it's
Oh,
just like
please.
the friendship stuff. It's so good. I need some more of like that emotion. That's why I like Gotham Academy because I have a child who's dealing with her emotions right now on whether or not she loves her mom or she hates her mom or what's going on with her life and she's just also trying to go through school. All of this
I gotta
stuff,
get
the
in on
emotion
that.
that's there. It's so nice.
I'm surprised you
and it just
haven't
feels
yet.
so good.
I keep seeing it. And I hear B in the back of my head going, "This is so good," and I need to do it because it does look very heartfelt.
I'm doing obligatory what they did with the CIA of just slowly trying to just imprint
So I'm being
stuff
subliminal.
onto her. Yep,
So I'm being
just
subliminal.
subliminal.
Goodness me.
So
Insane list. But I'm
Ro-
excited. I think it'll be fun.
This entire
It'll definitely
crossover is
cost
going to be
more.
phenomenal, and we'll definitely be reading it when it comes out. And then we know there's going to be more announcements because we have Superman, Spider-Man first, and then we're going to have Spider-Man, Superman from Marvel later on. So that means more crazy stories could be coming up down the pipeline. Which, if I'm
We're eating pretty
Marvel,
good.
Marvel, I need you to listen to me. If you don't give me a Miles Morales Steel book, we're going to have problems because you have one black character, another black character. Put them together, or at the very least, give me Natasha Irons and Miles. Like reference your, or better yet, give me Val Zod and Miles Morales.
I was about
Give
to
me
say.
something.
I was
like
about to say
anything. I just
you're just giving me hope right now.
No, like I was about to say, I was like, I'm gonna call from Marvel headquarters, and they said, "Fuck y'all, fuck y'all."
But like that kind of goes into like the next topic real quick before we move on to the DC news. Marvel is just like not worth reading right now if we keep it a stack. like there's no news.
Save your coin.
There's no books.
This economy is insane. Save your coin.
Like save your coin, read it on Marvel Unlimited in a few weeks, read it in trade, because you have two options. Well, you have three options. You either can read a fallout from an event, i.e. She-Hulk by Stephanie Phillips or Black Panther Intergalactic comes out next week, which those books you should support if you like them.
I will also say She-Hulk, the first issue, got me interested. Waiting for issue 2 to come out this week for me to give like a, is this going to be great? Is this going to be an awesome kind of thing, you know?
Like your other option is your other like option is to read some of the setup for a couple events that are coming. Like Avengers is doing very good. That's going to lead into the Armageddon shit with Chip Zdarsky, which is fine. Then you have the what I like to call the X-Men are doing a fucky wucky for a little bit, and they're off in another dimension for a little bit. And if you want to deal with that, that's fine. But you can totally just read it in trade in like 2 months.
I'm just letting you guys know my mind is scrambled trying to catch up on this stuff. I feel like I'm
as someone that does not have a Marvel background like that, like before the show, trying to be like, so like I'm trying to read Age of Revelation. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, just don't do it.
I'm not even reading that.
Because like genuinely like Marvel does this every couple of years, where even before Hoxpox, they had a Return to the Age of Apocalypse or something like that. They had another, like I think it was like Gambit or something. Actually, no, it wasn't Gambit. It was like Charles Xavier's son reset the universe.
It was it was just.
It was like they all had like a weird thing in a different pocket universe where the mutants were one thing and this and that. And it's like they do this every couple of years when they get bored. They shove them in a different dimension. There's some tie-ins, and then after that, they put it back to all number ones, and it's fine. That's cool. But like this is like, because someone even asked me today, hey, how do I get into X-Men right now? The answer is don't. Wait 2 more months. Wait for February and January for all the new number ones to come out.
Summers standalone. Well, it's his main line.
Yeah,
that's coming out.
It's going to be a Scott Summers book. There's going to be a new X-Men #1. There's going to be a couple of different X-Men #1s. There's going to be a Magic of Colossus book. Like
they're all here.
They do this whenever you see a giant landscape picture of all the X-Men on it announcing new era, that means that's where you jump in at. Don't come in right now. Wait a couple more weeks. Because they already showed it. It's like Emma Frost on the front, and they all go diagonally and show all the different mutants. Every couple of years, you get that picture, and that's when you jump in. Wait till January or February. That's when you come into X-Men, because otherwise you're gonna be fucking confused. Yeah. He's like, all right, cool, boss, I got you.
No, like you tried. He tried his best, and it was really iconic.
There's 2 rogues.
Yeah.
There's 2 rogues.
There's 2 rogues. What if it's married to Gambit? Which I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, one's married to Gambit, one's running off with Storm. Like, it's all weird. Like, just don't worry about it right now. It'll confuse you. Don't do it. It's just not worth it. Because imagine how much of a shell shock it was reading this whole event right before Hoxpox, and then Hoxpox starts with Jonathan Hickman, and Jonathan Hickman is the king of you need a bottle of Advil to get through his shit,
right?
Because that is literally just, hey, we're gonna have a lot of confusing things go on. Imagine me, what was it, first or second issue of House of X, and all this stuff is going on in the background, and then you find out in one page, hey, Jean and Scott and Logan have adjoining rooms. What's up with that?
I love the poly bait that Marvel did for 3 years, and then they were like, we're canceling this shit. Never mind. Fuck all of you. Fuck all of you. And it was never talked about again. That is the most that's iconic. That's iconic.
Yeah,
And their little
literally.
pride cover that they had of all three of them dancing together. You're ridiculous. Marvel HQ, you're fucking ridiculous.
It's so funny, and it's just like between
the prank
that
of the century, dude.
between the messiness of the comics right now, and then where everyone's like, "Oh my god, the Doomsday trailer leaked in France. Everybody's panicking, wondering when the Doomsday trailer's coming." I'm like, bro, hit me up when that shit comes out. Otherwise, I'm not stressing about Marvel.
No,
right
because
now.
you know what
Marvel's
is on my screen right now? Supergirl. That's real.
Supergirl. Which
it's real.
perfect
And it's on my
segue.
screen.
Perfect segue. Supergirl trailer dropped. It didn't drop on Monday like we thought it was. It didn't drop till like Wednesday or Thursday, which is fine. But so B was okay with that, which is okay. But this trailer was very good. It was very dope.
I was blown away. Honestly,
to the internet. I need y'all to shut up because. Because everyone's like, it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy. Why does it look like Guardians of the Galaxy? James Gunn's cop. Shut up.
You guys are not sci-fi enough. Be more sci-fi pilled.
Like, did you read the book? Did you read Supergirl Woman? Like, you have me defending Tom King right now. Like, did you read the book?
It's not a bad narrative. Y'all gotta know.
This is one of the biggest things that killed me, is that there's a gentleman on YouTube who likes to consume alcohol, and he released a video literally the day after this trailer, and everything in his video was wrong. And I'm going to point out one thing. He talks about a band of misfits that come in this trailer and all of this other jazz. I'm going to let you know, there are no band of misfits in this story.
Yeah.
There is a dog and there are two girls. And this is something that infuriates me, is you could just Google this stuff.
Yeah.
You could just Google it. You don't even have to read the comic for the information that I just gave you. You could Google it. But hey, read the comic because it's actually a really good comic. I read it last year and I'm rereading it again because it's a good comic. It gets you in your feels a little bit.
It's gorgeous. It's a good survival story. It is, and like we've talked about before, like it's one of those things that if you look at a Tom King background and stuff like that, like his kind of more detective work, his kind of more militaristic work, it hits. There's experience there. There's lived experience there. So the survivor perspective, the iconic line of like, well, Krypton didn't like die in a day, and it's just kind of this mentality, a very warlike mentality, and no matter how you parse it, and no matter how you have your origin story of like what happened to Krypton specifically, if like Krypton is in a targeted like war and is attacked, Krypton like imploded upon itself, like what have you, it is still like a war. Whether it's just like an external war or kind of more an internal one. So to have a Carver going through the universe trying to escape that. Ooh, it looked good. It looked good.
It looked so good. And there was two things that like I almost made videos about, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save it for the podcast because I want to talk about the podcast. There was one post on Instagram where somebody was mad and they said, "That's not the Supergirl logo. That's the Superman logo. It's the same thing." Are you
Wait, that's
crazy?
not real. That's not real.
It's real. It's real.
Not what continuity you come from. I don't care if you've read the old Superman.
Where are you
I don't
from?
care if you've read the current Superman. It's the House of L. They're related. This is their symbol for their family at this point.
Right.
Like
when I saw Cosmic post about it, I was like, is this even a conversation we need to have?
The Supergirl in the because Cosmic talked about it. Yeah, Cosmic talked about it too. And I was just like,
what?
Whole
list of Superman logos.
Like Jake, like say what you will about AI, but somebody made an AI picture of every Supergirl, like Superman standing together in a picture, and because we can't obviously get that now because you had Helen Slater and Christopher Reeve, you had Laura Vandervoort and Tom Welling together, you had Henry Cavill and the girl from the Flash movie, and then you had the animated version, and then you had these two, and it's just like that's cool. But the one thing that you identify with all of those pictures, they all have the same symbol because they're from the same freaking house. What do you mean? Like it's just it baffled me. And then the second thing that really got on my nerves. The second one that got really on my nerves was there was a dude on TikTok who was mad that Jason Momoa is in this movie as Lobo. let's talk about people that really don't have media literacy skills. Because if you had 5 seconds to Google some ish, you would know that when Jason Momoa was contacted by DC to play Aquaman, he thought he was getting a phone call to play Lobo.
He's talked about it multiple times too.
He's talked about it for multiple years that everyone fan casted him for years as Lobo. He thought he was coming. It was the same thing as him being fan casted as Lobo as Dwayne Johnson being fan casted as Black Adam. He knew for years everybody wanted that shit. Everybody wanted it. He was down to do it. He loved the character. And when James Gunn got hired, he texted him that day and was like, Lobo, can we do it? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And for you to be so ignorant to what's going on and understand what's going down and be like, oh, wow, why do we keep doing celebrities and things? Why can't we just have a story? Bro, I love Aquaman to death. I have his trident in my room and I have his trident on my freaking arm. That movie means so much to me as a tan dude who has a biracial background. Seeing Momoa in that movie, the speech he gives about being biracial, it means so much to me. But he didn't even want to do that damn movie twice, but he had to do that shit twice. Like, he went through Aquaman 2 wanting to beat Amber Heard upside her damn head, which that's not, I'm not even worried about that shit. We're not going to talk about that shit. But he went through that whole movie and did what he needed to do.
No, did his job.
That shit because he was contractually obligated to. And I will die on this hill. I genuinely love his version of Aquaman, specifically the Whedon cut version of his Aquaman, because where he's just like, yeah, throwing the trident, having a good time, vibing.
No, and is that not perfect Lobo energy?
Thank you. Yes, that was Lobo energy.
Always. This dude is
Lobo. That's the thing that I also don't understand is when people talk about like perfect casting and things for being everything and all of that stuff. You have Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I can talk about that as perfect casting. Him as Lobo. Jason
even that
Momoa
silhouette,
as
even the
Lobo
silhouette, dude,
is he's Lobo. There's no question about it. I look at that man, and then you just splatter Lobo paint on him. Congratulations, you don't need to do much more on it. You got your main man. He's here. He's there. You know,
especially in the first Aquaman movie where they kind of had that scene in the bar too. Like even with the entire demeanor of Arthur in that scene, like he makes for a good Aquaman, like in suit, but like every time he was out of it, I was like. And so like, and it's also one of those things that I can kind of understand, like wanting fresh faces, but it's also one of those things that I appreciate actors that love this medium as much as I do. I love actors that appreciate this genre as much as I do. And like taking the time to understand this character and taking the time to like do their homework, like yes, it is expected out of an actor to do their job, but there's just a different level of dedication of like, yo, I've wanted this character. People said they've seen me as this character, and I've seen myself as this character.
Exactly, and that's one of the other things. Go ahead.
And the best part about it is that unlike Dwayne Johnson's I have a big dick, I want to use my big dick energy ass, he's not going to supplant the entire main character just to play a character. I'm talking about you, Dwayne Johnson, Mr. I'm going to change the hierarchy of the DC universe, even though Shazam's supposed to be a bigger character than me. And it's like, great, I don't like Zachary Levi.
Just a man that doesn't understand superheroes. Like,
and it's just like genuinely the whole, because if you watch the first Shazam movie, the whole reason why the Doctor is more of a threat in that movie, and they had to involve the terrors or the different the 7 deadly sins and all that shit. The whole point of that was because the whole point of that was because Dwayne Johnson didn't want to be on screen with Zachary Levi. Because if you read the New 52 trade or the backup issues,
I wouldn't want to be either, but.
Right, but like he felt he was too big to be a villain. He wanted to have his own movie. He took the couple of nuggets that he had from 52 and the couple of nuggets he had from the JSA run after and was like, let's make a movie out of it. And it was like, you're supposed to be the villain. You're supposed to be the guy who fights Shazam. Stop having a big dick and actually get in your lane, which is what Jason Momoa is doing here, where he's going to stay in his lane and play the role. And it's so cool to see him just stay in his lane and do what he's supposed to do.
And speaking about lanes, one of the things that I love about Jason Momoa is that he knows his things about motorcycles. Something that, Lobo should know. Something about motorcycles.
That
this
is
guy
gonna be
is
crazy,
built for
yeah.
this. And it's like those small things of finding the individual who actually knows about this. Sorry about that. Who knows about this stuff actually brings these characters to life, who have some kind of background in addiction or some kind of background in what the character has. They can bring that to the screen and we will fall in love with that character.
Mm-hmm. So, that people need to quit being mad. The trailer looks great. The song was dope.
Just being mad to be mad. I don't really understand.
They were even going down the list of being like, oh, James Gunn used the same headphones he did for Chris Pratt. Shut up. Who cares?
Like, now we're getting nitpicky, and this is where the MC stopped becoming fun.
Right.
I've seen this film before, and I didn't like the MC.
Right. And it's to the point where I didn't even like James Gunn's Guardians the way he did it. I wanted to see the Dan Abnett space epic that I read when I was a kid. So I can say I understand the hatred of the that franchise and the vibe, but Superman was solid. This Supergirl movie looks solid. Quit being a hater and just enjoy shit. That's all I'm saying. Now in terms of the other live action thing we got this week, why in the hell did we only get a Green Lanterns teaser in a sizzle reel for HBO Max?
Yeah.
What is going on? I needed
exactly
more.
What I've been saying. This shit's not real. This is not a Green Lantern film.
I've got to jump in real quickly. We got a Green Lantern teaser trailer?
You didn't know about this?
No.
Oh my god, B.
It is
like 5 seconds, but
it really is 5 seconds, and it doesn't show much.
It's Hal and John in a car, and then there's a couple military base scenes.
Oh god, that's loud in my headphones.
It's very short, but they show the ring,
and it's very why even show us? Kind of is my mentality.
Right, it very much was attached to a sizzle reel advertising HBO Max to investors, and then it got so much hype. They had Aaron Pierre go on the Instagram later and be like, "Hey, it's Aaron Pierre. Look at this teaser for Green Lanterns releasing on Bleep, because I can't tell you when it's coming out yet." And then they showed the teaser again as its own separate thing, and it was like, why did you do this at 4 p.m. later after it already aired and made Aaron Pierre do this? And why did you bleep the release date? It was very odd, but it's like I was excited to see it. I was down. The thing that really got on my nerves. And it was so funny, too, because the guy on Twitter that called this podcast woke had the nerve to pop up on my feed. And he was on socials saying, and I quote, "Green Lantern is supposed to be white." Then somebody came along and put what the heck it's called, a community note saying the left is Jon Stewart and the right is Hal Jordan, two completely different characters, as there are many different human Green Lanterns. And for you to be so racist, to not even have when you looked at the original promo image and they showed a white man and a black man, you are so inept of intelligence. I love how both of them took off their glasses and they're like.
I'm just rubbing my eyes to make sure I saw two people. I saw two people there. There was not one. I saw two people in that trailer. I know that trailer was only 10 seconds long. There were two people in that car. I saw one man jump out of the car and one man stay in the car.
I just put it in the chat, and you look at this shit, and you're just like, no, this dude really just had the gall to be so inept of intelligence and be so racist that you're like, bro. Really?
And that's why
are you
Twitter
this bad?
Is awful. The Twitter farm of just saying, any deep shower thought that you have that is not real, and then you get money for it, and then you get money because everyone's like, "You're stupid." It is rough on there.
I don't get it. I
wonder how he's gonna feel when he finds out that the Green Lanterns has been collecting a whole bunch of races.
Yeah.
He's not reading a Green Lantern story.
And just me scrolling here an hour ago, this fucking dude put up a thing, put up that stupid Ryan Gosling Black Panther picture and said this would have made a better Black Panther movie. Bro, you are so racist.
You are so racist
so much.
You have to log off Twitter.
This is the thing too.
It's a hellscape on there. It's a money generation hellscape. I can't do it.
I love when people love to pull that whole like Black Panther, White Panther, whatever BS
Yeah,
that
they're
gets
so
pulled
ridiculous.
up, because at the end of the day, for me, comic books is a medium for storytelling. If you guys want to tell your story of having a Black Panther, go for it. But also at the same time, don't get mad at us when we decide to take a White Panther and make him black all of a sudden. Because
And
that's
it's also,
just how storytelling's gonna go, you know? I just don't understand why these people can't, like, I get it, at the end of the day, there's a sense to like originality. I understand that. But like once we get to this Elseworld thing in comic books, I can't say whether or not what's good or bad. I've seen Batman as a woman as this point. I don't know what to do.
It just brings me back to the Spider-Verse controversy, where it's just kind of like, you, like, we are, maybe, I don't know. It's
We've
just this
gotten
conversation
so
of like,
extreme to this point. It's like, why?
huge, and it's also one of those things like in like, and then we'll move on just because this is such an outrageous talking point, especially like the Ryan Gosling Black Panther thing. Just because it's like, I've never understood seeing something that is specifically for a specific audience and then being like, but like it's not for me. Why is it not
like,
for
it's just,
me? But like
well,
why?
it's
But
so
like why
dumb
can't it be
because,
for me? But like I can't relate to like being in Africa. Like it's like you can't
like,
just
it's
sit
just,
down and enjoy the story.
right. It's so dumb because I talked about it with the indie interview that I just did for Black Gravity, where I asked the writer straight up, I'm like, your like your inspiration for this book was Hal Jordan, which is cool, no big deal. But like, we live in a society so much where like even your characters, like that, like you made sure that they weren't just cisgendered straight white males. And the issue that these people have when they say this stupid shit about Black Panther, or they're mad about Jon Stewart, etc., they're so mad because they missed the days when everything was catered to them. So now that things are not just catered to them, they're upsetty
Now that like
spaghetti. They want
9% of the world isn't catered to them.
right, and it's
9.5%
like,
of the world isn't
like
catered to them.
they can go read all this old shit that is theirs. They can go read some new shit that's still theirs. But the minute something is still there that is not theirs, they are uncomfortable. Like there was some dude in my
Right.
video that I made talking about how women deserve to have a place in comic books, and this dude was like, "Oh no one has issues with women being here. They keep trying to take over our space. They're not trying to take over your space, dumbass. They just want to
You're
have
a
a piece of it.
dummy.
They want to have a place at the table, and you see them taking a place at the table as taking it over. You need to reevaluate your life choices and actually have a brain for 5 seconds.
They want the opportunity to speak without you cranking your head and being like, but how many comics have you read? How many events are under your belt? Go consume, Graphs. Whole. Chew it.
Yes. You
no,
just
we're
need to be
losing something. We're
faceful.
losing, because it's like, how is this? How do you, after like harassing a group of people, like whether it be women online in like your little fandom space, whether it be minorities online, how do you look at like what you love and what you adore and be like, I did these artists and writers right, I did Captain America right today by yelling at black people online? It's like I need that cognitive dissonance, Loki. Economy's getting bad and I want to be out the door.
It's just it's so frustrating, bro, because it's like there's so much of a disconnection where we're about to be on like 1,000 days without a black ongoing at DC, and we just got the news that Marvel is changing Storm's ongoing from being an ongoing to a 5-issue mini.
Yep.
And I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
That's also what drops in February. It is so,
and it's just like,
and that's
we're
exactly
gonna get to a point
what the community's been saying. That's what Storm fans have been saying.
Yeah,
in pre-order.
And it's just like we're getting to a point where they're gonna get, like, it's gonna be nothing but straight white male nonsense, and they're gonna be like, oh well, it didn't sell well, so why should we care? And it's gonna be like, now they're winning the war of pushing us out of these spaces. It's gonna get to a point where unless it's selling gangbusters, no one's gonna care. And like, shout out to Cosmic, because he tried to make us like a video talking about it, and thankfully he heard me like on my reply where it was like, hey, is there too many Batman books? I don't think there's too many Batman books because Batman is funding these other books that way they can get made. But then apparently he didn't even know that like pre-orders are what fund the industry and how like the background works. And it was like that's the biggest issue that I see in the space.
It is confusing. It is confusing, and even like the conversation we had earlier with variant covers, that is also something that could absolutely deter new readers. You pick up a manga, there's not another variant of the fucking manga you're reading. You have books 1 through 10. It's over. You don't have like like some people collect like special like books and stuff like that. But it's such a thing of like, hey, every single week this is going to be releasing, and they give you months in advance what is going to be releasing, and then months in advance you have a list of like 5 to 10 covers that you could own. What the fuck? What the fuck? This and going to the history, it's always been ridiculous. And then they try to change it, and it becomes more ridiculous of a publishing schedule. And that's why, like, when we talk about like things like that of like just educating others in the space, if someone like says or posts something that you think is like a stupid take, it's like, hey, this shit is stupid. The way this shit operates sometimes is stupid. You and I both know that. It like guide somebody in the right direction.
It is.
Please, God.
And like JP, and that's the thing is JP's talked about it multiple times of having it be like, we have to go in and make sure it's on the pull list for the companies to actually hear us when there are nations out there who don't get pull list,
that don't even get
to read it off of the app, and like they get
don't
left
even have
out of the conversation. Exactly, and they get left out of this conversation about these comic books because they're only focused on us here in America, which I appreciate that. I love that my voice is heard, but there are millions of other voices that can be heard and that can be telling these stories for DC and Marvel that they just kind of
like if you want to advertise, if you want to
advertise American comics worldwide, for once I can just sit back.
Like if you
and post the announcements of our new interview.
These comics, and like especially like when you look at like the international releases and stuff like that, like of the MCU and of past DC projects, like it's like to imagine like getting a story, being privy to a story in the big screen that you don't really have access to in the print form, or even God forbid the fucking digital form. It's like, and some places are on top of it, and like, and some places are not. When I lived in London for a month, like they had their polls and stuff like that, but the stores like weren't as big. There's not that many people. I would go and see the same exact people every single week. And then I come here and I see every single week I see different people at my local comic shop.
Yep. There's always somebody new that walks, like not somebody new, but somebody that I don't know will walk into my comic book shop versus stuff that goes on in other nations to where those people are just interested in this. And so they're going to find it. And for some reason, it feels like DC and Marvel go, it's a failing market over there. We don't want to try to get more people into this stuff. And it's like, you guys aren't even trying. It doesn't feel like you guys are trying. Because even for, like I even say here, the Doomsday stuff that's going on, they should have been hyping that up months ago. They should have been making sure that their entire movie-going audience has this, like, anticipation buildup and everything that's going on. But no, I'm not even excited to go see this. And I'm one of the Marvel fans that loves their movies and TV shows. I still try to keep up to that stuff because it's I don't want to say an interesting story at this point because it just feels like the same story I'm getting repeated over and over again.
He's just like, I might as fucking well at this point.
Right?
Jesus Christ.
It's just nice that I don't have to be the one ranting anymore. It's very nice.
On that
like
note,
y'all just reiterate for it.
Let's talk about some polls that we're eyeing for the next week or for this week.
Because like we'll definitely talk about like DCKO and Joker next week because we definitely kind of ran over a little bit on time.
That is perfectly fine. I need to still figure out my Joker thoughts on that one because
But the one thing that I will say that I will plug before the polls is that if you have been a reader of Exquisite Corpses by James Tinney IV over at Image Comics, which I was late to the party on, I will admit that, I found out that last year. I know, right? Last year, Tiny Onion had an event called Corpse Tour, where they went around to different comic book shops in different locations and had an awesome thing where they just like handed out free merch. They released a Exquisite Corpses the trading card game that is exclusive to what they do those
That's
events. You can
that
like print
looking.
off the cards to play with your friends now. But they're gonna have like
Fun.
new merch and new things going on where you can like there's gonna be an exclusive panel with James Tinney and like while they're doing all this. And Corpse Tour 2026 is coming, and they announced the dates. So make sure that you peeped Instagram for those. We like shared those the way y'all can see that. So make sure you're following us. But yeah, Corpse Tour 26 is coming out. If you have not read Exquisite Corpses, don't be like me and wait. Read that ish. It's a
No,
little
it's
gory.
good.
I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. It's a lot. It's a lot. Imagine like if the rich played the Hunger Games to find out who's gonna run the Illuminati for every 5 years. Like that's the best way I can describe that book.
It's an
And
insane
they all
premise. It's crazy, but it is such a gorgeous art, and it's such like it's been selling like hotcakes off the fucking shelves. I remember the
yes.
conversation like Comic Talk was having of like I can't find issue one. Like I want
That's
to read
why
this
you
so
need
bad I
to
can't
pre-order
find this
your
shit.
books.
Oh, and there it
Pre-order
is.
your books. But yeah, make sure that you do that. And since we're going to be diving into your pulls, we're going to be doing a new thing with our weekly pull recommendations where it isn't just, hey, what's randomly going on here? We are putting our money where our mouth is and make sure that we aren't just telling you what's coming out. We are going to be telling you about 4 books that are on our pull list that you need to
What
go
are
make sure
we
you pick
looking
up.
at?
What are we making sure that we are buying? That way you make sure you are picking up stuff. B, what are you picking up this week at the comic shop? And he's muted.
Let us know. And he's gone.
There we go. Yep, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back in reality. Sorry, I was just spaced
Mestizo
out,
dealer.
little zoned. But for pull list this week,
Little Phantom
we
Zone.
got exactly. You know, I've been reading a little too much Superman. But Harley Quinn versus Zatanna, because I'm a Harley Quinn fan, so I'm really hoping that this comes up. Well, I already know this is going to come up Harley because it's Harley Quinn. That's just how it's going to work. So,
B, I wouldn't say so sure. I wouldn't say so sure.
Positive about
Get
that?
got. Get fucking got. Get fucking got.
Did I miss a pull?
Oh no,
Continue.
Just don't look at Bleeding Cool for a couple of days. Is all I'm saying.
Okay. I'm gonna stay off the internet. I gotta work anyway. And then Absolute Flash issue number 10, and then Planet She-Hulk issue number 2. And I'm gonna pitch Planet She-Hulk to you guys because I feel like that's gonna be the one to save Marvel for a little bit of time. She is stuck on Planet Hulk. Hulk was like, "Hey, I'm going to dip out of here real quickly. I need you to make sure the kingdom stays all good. You're going to be the ruler just for like 3 weeks." 3 weeks turns into 3 months, turns into 6 months, and now congratulations, someone's trying to take over the planet Hulk and fight She-Hulk for the ruler of the title of Hulk. And we get to see how that progresses. So check that out. Issue number 2 comes out this Wednesday, so that's what I recommend.
All right, I think Astro's still looking, so I'll go over
No,
mine
I'm not.
real
I'm
quick.
good to go.
Let's go then.
Let her speak.
What you pulling?
I'm also trying to get Harley Quinn and versus Zatanna, but my other Harley Quinn look at that I'm looking at is the 3rd issue of Harley Quinn X Elvira, which has been such like a cute adventure. Like it is like 2 girls that are so iconic and goofy in their own way, and like seeing how that kind of clashes and seeing how that humor kind of stays the same. It is iconic. We also, that I'm looking at, we have more Racer X. I'm pretty sure it is the 4th one, if I'm not mistaken. It just lost on me. But I'm pretty sure. And that has been so good. Speed Racer has been amazing. The Racer X stories have been amazing. It is such an insane fucking story. I am obsessed with it. And last but not least, I'm looking at Alien versus Captain America because my man has the first one, and I was really interested in it. I love the little side stories of like an alien or a predator kind of fighting, because I especially like when it's like one person. The team ups sometimes are cute, but I love the introspection we can get with like this pairing, and I think the first issue of that did it very well. Just like it reminds me of a Predator versus Wolverine. Just like let's get into the weeds of it. Let's talk about all these themes of being, what it means to be a man, what it means to kind of like be a displaced person. So those are my pulls, and I'm so excited. So
All
excited for the
right,
Racer
all
X
right.
2. Oh, oh.
Well, I'm gonna say, yeah, like David was hyping that book up between like and Mark Russell. Mark Russell wrote one of my favorite comic books of all time, which is freaking Snaggletooth, Exit Stage Left, and if you, or it's not Snaggletooth, Snagglepuss. What am I
Yeah.
doing? I'm tired. It's been a long day. Snagglepuss, Exit Stage Left, and if you have not read Snagglepuss, that shit will like rock you to your core and have you reevaluate history in a crazy way. So make sure you like if you haven't read that, it's the easiest trade to pick up on Amazon. Snagglepuss, Exit Stage Left. Very hard, very especially if you're queer, like reading about your history from the lens of like Warner, like Hanna-Barbera characters is rough. So
Mm.
it's a lot, but if you can handle it, read it. For me, in terms of my pull list, I have Everything Dead and Dying from Tate Bromble over at Image Comics. I have like most of my shit this week is indie, which is hilarious because I have Everything Dead and Dying. I'm picking up Exquisite Corpses. I have Ancestral Recall from Jordan Clark over at Ahoy Comics, and then I have Black Panther Intergalactic. We talked about that. It's another book that's from the fallout of the Imperial event, along with Planet She-Hulk, and it's only like it's like a 5-issue mini, and then we're getting the Black Panther 60th anniversary, but Marvel still hasn't announced a Black Panther ongoing. What's going on? But anyway,
Messy,
so
messy,
yeah,
messy.
those are definitely my pulls for the week. Make sure you go check those out and whatnot. B, what do you want to leave the people with this week?
Stay positive, everybody. The world is a very, very loud place, and they're going to come at you at very different angles. That means keep your family close, keep your friends close. You're going to have shields up for some things, but always remember that it's going to get better. The next day may be hard, but every day after that's going to get a little bit better. You can reach out to friends, you can reach out to family, and just it's the holidays. Just remember that. It's always here to have a good time and for a long time. That's the whole premise of being on this planet.
Period.
Astro, how you want to leave these people?
No, to couple with that, like it is cold for some of us. I know for me, I'm freezing and it is
It's cold.
dark. It's cold and I have to fucking brush the snow off my car every single day. So it's just one of
Same.
those things of, oh, it is, I don't even want to talk about it, whatever. But it is just a matter of like what B is saying, like kind of like taking time for yourself and really evaluating like what you want to do. Especially I make jokes all the time of like this economy is doing what it does. Something is about to pop. So be grounded, be physically grounded in the way of like read what you want to read, write what you want to write, draw what you want to draw. Nobody is and do it as if nobody is watching. I know we perform a lot for the gaze of others and stuff like that, but you will find a certain satisfaction in just performing a hobby or performing whatever it is for yourself and not telling
Yeah.
anybody about it, not advertising it, not sharing it, and just kind of having your own private reprieve that, you know, at the end of the day, it is yours and it belongs to you.
Most definitely. For me, I have said for a long time that my goal when it comes to comic books is making sure there is a book for everybody, that everyone can have a hero to read, everyone can have a story to read, and they will be content. Doesn't matter if you like superhero books, doesn't matter if you like horror books, mystery books, kids books, whatever the fuck. As long as you're not hurting nobody, I don't give a fuck. And this medium is for everybody. I know we say that a lot because we want to protect people, and then there's some people who use it as a shield to hide their ignorance and their bigotry. But I already just posted on the Instagram while these two were giving their final thoughts, and I want to let folks know that I had the privilege and the honor to interview Melissa Flores. She has been writing some amazing stuff over at Marvel and over at Boom and Image. She's been
Woo!
helping Kyle Higgins with the Massiveverse. She wrote Power Rangers Prime in the last volume of MMPR before that wrapped up, and she was a director and producer, not like a director of different things, not like the show itself, but like the background stuff at Saban and then Hasbro for a while for Power Rangers. And
Brilliant.
she
Oh, you
she
love to
more than
see
any
it.
she more than anybody as a queer Latina knows how representation matters. and she was telling me about how important this medium is, that we need to make sure that everybody has a voice, everyone has a book that matters to them. And this meet like the biggest portion, like say what you will about like the non-unionization or the drama that happened behind the scenes, the one thing that you can say about Hayam Saban when it comes to the history of Power Rangers is that he made sure that shit was diverse, that shit had almost every walk of life in it. Even when Disney took it over, you saw every walk of life featured on that show, and they made sure that it was like everyone was represented. And for some reason, no one ever called it woke. No one ever had a problem with it. It was just there. And the Power Rangers is a great example of something that transcends not just television, but comic books, video games, movies. And it's a great lesson that you can find representation in comics. You can find representation in things, and you should never let anybody take that away from you. And I will make it my vow that that it's the reason why this show is hosted by Black and brown people, and we have like a woman in Astro on the show. We're trying to possibly have a fourth member on the show and keep it that way and keep it moving. Is that I want different voices to be heard. I like, as someone who is half Black, who is queer, I wanted to make sure that our voices were heard. And I will be damned if you are going to tell people they don't belong in this space. You don't understand the fundamentals of comic books if you try to act as if people don't belong in this space. Stan Lee, Dwayne McDuffie, so many different individuals have been fighting for the right for everyone to read this medium. Like, say what you like, and it's so frustrating too, because some people who have written some of the most diverse stories in the history of comic books, like Chuck Dixon, are out here trying to act as if comics have never been political, comics have never been diverse. Comics have always been political, comics have always been diverse. If you don't understand that, go ask Bucky Barnes why he was telling you to your parents to get rid of your comic books for war bonds. Go so you can go watch a great documentary on YouTube and hear Stan Lee talk about how a congressman was telling him to make anti-drug stories in Spider-Man, and then the Comics Code Authority told him not to, but because a congressman asked him to, he then did it anyway despite the Comics Code. Like, genuinely, this medium has always been political, and if you don't understand that, you need to wake up and understand that the world isn't just for you, it is for everybody. And that's me hopping off my soapbox. We will catch you, folks, next week here on Comics Unmasked, where we unmask and talk about everything when it comes to the medium. Peace out.